do soon.
Yeah, if you could pick the result of the fight, what would you want to happen?
A McGregor destructive first round KO, where we're saying what does happen if he fights Makhachev? What does happen if he takes on Oliveira or Ilia Topuria? That's kind of the best case scenario from this, is that we can go into discussions about him legitimately competing at the top again. What do I think is going to happen?
No.
I don't think he's going to score a first round KO. And if he doesn't score a first round KO, I think Holloway's going to piece him up and finish him in round 3 or 4. And Holloway's going to be back on top. And, you know, BMF belt conversations, him Gaethje, him Topuria rematch. There's going to be all kinds of discussions.
Yeah, I mean, like, Conor is so
The countdown to one of the most talked about comeback fights in MMA history has officially begun, and the entire combat sports world is split over one question. Can Conor McGregor truly
5 rounds. But God, I'm trying to see a world where Max actually finishes Conor without Conor like hurting himself or something or rolling his ankle. But it's not like Max is like a big power puncher. How do you think he could finish him? You think Conor would just literally pucker out and fold?
That's the way I see
Yes. Yeah, that's what I do think. I think McGregor isn't a 5 round
return after years away from the Octagon and defeat Max Holloway? Fans, analysts, former champions, and UFC legends all have different answers, making this matchup one of the most debated fights in recent memory. Some believe the perfect ending would be vintage Mystic Mac, a devastating first-round knockout that instantly throws McGregor back into title contention and reignites dream match.
5 years where Conor's been away, Max Holloway has been fighting the very best talent that is available, the best fighters in the world, and oftentimes beating them. Like, for example, his last fight, or his last victory, should I say, was against Dustin Poirier, the man that beat Conor not once, but twice in a row. Yes, for the BMF, he lost his BMF belt, which he took off Dustin Poirier, but he lost that to Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira took him down, okay? As simple as that. Took him down, took his back, right? Tried to choke him out. No shame in that. But Conor McGregor isn't going to do that. He hasn't not got that kind of style. But when you look at the opponents that Max was fighting, we've got Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, Ilia Topuria, Justin Gaethje. Remember, he knocked him out cold, and he's also the undisputed
matchups against Islam Makhachev, Charles Oliveira, or even another championship run. Others argue that this fairy tale ending is simply too good to be true. After spending nearly 5 years away from elite competition, recovering from a horrific leg injury, building businesses outside the cage, and living life as one of the biggest superstars in combat sports,
Chang Sun Jung, the Korean Zombie, Arnold Allen, Alexander Volkanovski. I mean, the man has fought a who's who of...
How do we get to Conor beats Max? How do we get there? We just hope. I hear the term, and I've heard the term since 1993. I swear to goodness, it's one of the reasons I've made more money than any other fighter in announcing. I swear to goodness. Is because I don't ever say there's a puncher's chance. And I don't just mean that I don't use the word. I don't say stupid. Like, that's a kind of guy. It is a common person. That is a very common phrase to use. I swear to God, I've had so many people ask me, how'd you get into broadcast? I know I'm making myself sound like a jerk right now, but I'm telling you a true story. I swear it's somewhere along the lines that I would never say he has a puncher's chance. And you want to know why I would never say that? There is no such thing. And that isn't literal. But goddamn, it's close. Who do you want to say had a puncher's chance? What do you want to do? You could bring in Ray Mercer versus Tim Sylvia. You could. You could talk about Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. I think that you'd be appropriate to talk about Foreman and Moore. Oh, and by the way, if you're a big fight expert, you could probably add another couple to the list. But fighting's the world's oldest sport, not to mention it goes on every single Saturday. And I had a hard time coming up with 5. So, is that what you hang your hat on? Of how Conor's going to...
Many question whether McGregor can still compete with a fighter who has spent those same years battling the absolute best in the world. Max Holloway hasn't been inactive. He's faced champions, contenders, and future Hall of Famers, defeating names like Dustin Poirier while sharing the cage with Charles Oliveira, Ilia Topuria, Justin Gaethje, Alexander Volkanovski, Arnold Allen, Chan Sung Jung, and countless other elite fighters. Every fight has added an...
But is he going to come back after 5 years off after breaking his leg, walks back into the sport at the highest level, and defeat Max Holloway by first or second round KO? Are we in a fucking fairy tale? Are we in dreamland? Surely there's no way that fucking happens. That would be shocking to me. After all that he's done in the 5 years off, this guy ain't been in the gym every fucking day. He's not been hustling to improve himself and just... If Yuri dipped for 5 years, I'd be fucking terrified for his next opponent. Because I know that dude's sitting in a dark room and training in the fucking woods for 5 straight years, developing this fucking game. I'd be shitting bricks for his next opponent. Conor McGregor, sailing around the world, this business, that business, this allegation, that allegation, this court case, that court case, this drama, that one. This headline, that headline. This picture of him hanging a weight off of his dick, that picture of a weight hanging off of his dick. I don't know if McGregor's getting this one done.
Another chapter to one of the greatest resumes in UFC history. Holloway has captured titles, defended them, reclaimed momentum after setbacks, and consistently evolved into an even more dangerous fighter. His legendary cardio, endless combinations, relentless pressure, incredible durability, and willingness to fight anyone have earned him respect across the sport. That's exactly why so many experts believe McGregor's biggest challenge isn't landing the first punch. It's surviving the championship rounds where Holloway has historically overwhelmed opponents with pace and volume. Veteran...
I've never ever made a secret of it. I'm a massive Conor fan, but I'm also a massive Max fan. You know, Conor started coming up when I was just starting out my pro career. His UFC run started. So he was a guy that I genuinely looked up to as I progressed in the sport. Imagine this. Imagine Conor beating Max Holloway and getting that title shot.
I think if there's one guy who can rip up the script, it's Conor McGregor.
As he's done so many times. Yeah. I'm going with the Mac. I'm never going against it. I'm never going against Conor. Yeah, okay. No matter against, like, Max Holloway, massive fan, love him. He's a great fighter, and you know he's a deserving of everything that he's gotten and all the praise. But I can't go against Conor.
Where do you think Conor could win the fight?
You know, Conor has that scary timing. He has that scary timing. Everybody that's fought him says that. Yeah. That timing, and he has that sneaky power. Everybody that fights him says when he hits you, you feel it. Yeah. You know, it just takes one. It just takes one. Ilya knocked out Max. You know, it can be done. Yeah.
Analyst Chael Sonnen has repeatedly stated that he struggles to find a realistic path to victory for McGregor outside of an early knockout. According to Sonnen, McGregor cannot outpoint Holloway over 5 rounds, cannot rely on wrestling, cannot win through positional control, and isn't likely to find success in a drawn-out technical battle. In his view, the only path is an explosive finish during the opening minute.
I'm Conor. I'm a little tight that everyone feels the way that they feel about Conor. I'm a little tight about it. Not giving him a shot. Everyone's saying this, this. I'm a little, yeah. He took 5 years off, but I'm a little tight about that. I don't understand why everyone's just like, oh, this man ain't nothing. Nah, he is something. I would have liked this to be a 3-rounder for him coming back and not a 5-rounder. I would have loved a 3-rounder, but...
You're right. You're right. You're fucking right. I didn't even think about that. You're so right, dude.
Mm-hmm. Because I think a 3-rounder for Conor, I think he's sharp enough to convince. Like, Henry, we know because we've been there. We know that championship rounds, a lot changes. When you get to that 3rd one, you're like, oh, I'm done. Nope, you got 2 more. That's when the thoughts start to waver. That's real championship rounds where you got to really dig here. And yeah, for 3 rounds, I think Conor, yes, he's sharp enough and he's powerful enough in his mind that he could will himself through those 3. It's those extra 2 that really separate the men from the boys. So, man, I'm excited, but I just didn't like the way that everyone's counting him out here. I didn't like that. And listen, I love Max. I'm a big Max fan, but I just don't like the way.
It's before Holloway settles into his rhythm. If that doesn't happen, Sonnen believes Max gradually takes over, breaking McGregor down with combinations.
For example, feels that the time away from competing could actually be better.
body work, relentless movement, and pressure before earning either a late stoppage or a dominant decision. Yet not everyone shares that opinion. Former champions Michael Bisping, Henry Cejudo, and several respected voices around the sport believe writing McGregor off completely is a dangerous mistake. They argue that the long layoff may have allowed his body to recover from years of brutal training camps, weight cuts, injuries, and accumulated damage that slowly wear down elite fighters. Instead of spending every year
Conor to get the jump on Max, I'm trying to make one. I can tell you a whole lot of things that he can't do. I can tell you a whole bunch of things that Conor cannot do. But I'm trying to find the one thing that he can. I mean, I would tell you as clearly as I know how to stake a reputation. He cannot win a decision. I'm not telling you that he won't. It's very different words. I'm not saying to you Conor McGregor won't win if it goes to a decision. I'm telling you he can't. It's very different. I'm telling you he can't submit Max. I'm telling you he can't round and pound for positional scorecard victory of rounds. Max can't do it.
preparing for wars inside the Octagon, McGregor has focused on recovery, business ventures, and rebuilding himself physically. Supporters believe that a refreshed McGregor could return sharper, healthier, and mentally stronger than many expect. They also point to his unmatched timing, explosive left hand, devastating counter-striking, and ability.
Does he have to do that? Or will that never be replicated? There's simply nothing like a McGregor fight week. Pinpoint what exactly makes Conor this generational megastar. It's hard to say one moment. It's an accumulation of things, and this whole it's kind of gone now, but the whole Mystic Mac thing, and it was just this Irish. He looked the part. He was the best on the mic we've ever seen. He told us what he was going to do, and he did it. And it was at a time where it was just really, really special. Really special. And the UFC catered to this stardom of Conor McGregor.
To predict and create fight-ending moments. Throughout his career, McGregor repeatedly shocked the MMA world by accomplishing what many believed impossible, earning the nickname Mystic Mac through a series of legendary predictions and spectacular knockouts. Those memories continue to fuel belief among loyal fans who refuse to bet against him. On the other side, Holloway supporters remind everyone that this version of Max is far superior to the young featherweight McGregor defeated years ago. Since then, Holloway has transformed into one of the greatest volume strikers in UFC history, displaying world-class boxing, improved takedown defense, smarter footwork, elite fight IQ, and unbelievable toughness. Even after losing the BMF title to Charles Oliveira, many believe that defeat revealed little weakness because Oliveira remains one of the sport's most dangerous submission specialists. Holloway's knockout of Justin Gaethje, one of the greatest finishes ever witnessed inside the Octagon, proved that he still possesses finishing power to complement his legendary pace. Former flyweight champion Demetrius Johnson has also weighed in, suggesting that while moving to a higher weight class may benefit both athletes by eliminating difficult weight cuts, Holloway's durability and conditioning remain massive advantages over 5 rounds. Others argue that McGregor's power becomes less effective as fights extend into the later rounds, exactly where Holloway thrives. Despite the skepticism, some current champions continue backing McGregor, insisting that all it takes is one perfectly timed left hand to completely change the fight. After all, Ilia Topuria demonstrated that even someone as durable as Holloway can be knocked unconscious under the right circumstances. That single example continues giving
Gaethje. It was that spinning back kick right to the face at the end of round 1. That really started the decline for Justin Gaethje.
Hope to McGregor believers who think the Irish superstar still possesses enough speed, precision, and confidence to create another unforgettable moment. As fight night rapidly approaches, betting lines continue shifting, predictions flood social media, and every interview adds another layer of intrigue. Some see a legendary comeback destined to rewrite history, while others believe the sport has simply evolved beyond McGregor's era. Will Holloway's endless pressure, superior activity, and championship conditioning overwhelm the returning superstar? Or will Conor McGregor remind the world exactly why he became one of the biggest attractions combat sports has ever seen with another iconic knockout? One thing is absolutely certain. When these two warriors finally stand across from each other inside the cage, millions of fans around the world will be watching, knowing that this fight has the potential to become one of the defining moments in modern MMA history. Now the question belongs to every fight fan. Who walks away victorious? Max Holloway or Conor McGregor? Share your prediction in the comments below. Explain how you think the fight ends. And don't forget to subscribe for more UFC news, fight breakdowns, exclusive updates, and the biggest stories from the world of mixed martial arts. The countdown to one of the most talked about comeback fights in MMA history has officially begun, and the entire combat sports world is split over one question. Can Conor McGregor truly return after years away from the Octagon and defeat Max Holloway? Fans, analysts, former champions, and UFC legends all have different answers, making this matchup one of the most debated fights in recent memory. Some believe the perfect ending would be vintage Mystic Mac, a devastating first-round knockout that instantly throws McGregor back into title contention and reignites dream matchups against Islam Makhachev, Charles Oliveira, or even another championship run. Others argue that this fairy tale ending is simply too good to be true. After spending nearly 5 years away from elite competition, recovering from a horrific leg injury, building businesses outside the cage, and living life as one of the biggest superstars in combat sports, many question whether McGregor can still compete with a fighter who has spent those same years battling the absolute best.